Pulling a vacuum for an HVAC or a heating and air conditioning system. Question 1, what is a vacuum? A vacuum is pulling down to so many microns, actually removing the air, maybe perhaps the non-condensables, etc. So that basically you're pulling it down into a vacuum. And I don't know, the HVAC experts can elaborate, or the professors or college professors. The boiling points, perhaps, I'm not sure. I've heard the boiling points can change according to the pressure, but one may need to fact check that. So say for instance, if something boils, say, water at 212 degrees Fahrenheit, if it were in a vacuum, it may alter that. I'm not certain on that, so don't hold me to that. But for this video here, we show what a vacuum pump is. So just again, the previous analogy, we said a vacuum. Just think of like a vacuum hose. You're pulling air up and pulling it out, so to speak. Instead of putting air like an air compressor where you're putting air into a tire, you're actually removing it. So then the question is, how does one do this? Actually, one takes the gauge, and you can hook the gauge up, and then run the system, and then you take the yellow hose and you connect it to the port. Now, keep in mind, this has 3 ports, so there are times when people actually upsize this to perhaps pull the vacuum faster to make it a larger hose, maybe an inner diameter, etc. But this particular hose here fits the gauges, and this should suffice for this illustration. So basically, then we go over here, we have a button, we turn it on. This thing has oil, so be sure to make sure you have oil in your unit. You don't want to burn your unit up. And then the stuff may come up out of here. You may end up seeing a little kind of like smoke-esque or stuff coming up out of there. But then when you get the vacuum pulled down to perhaps 500 microns or thereabouts, then you can turn the vacuum off and turn it off and see if it holds. So now, if it doesn't hold, you may have a leak in the system, and then you would have to address that. That would be a total separate entity. But basically, to pull a vacuum, it's pretty simple. And then you could crack your, I think you could crack your low pressure side. Some people may crack both. So if the HVAC guys would elaborate on this, if you crack both sides, the high and the low pressure, or just the low pressure, and then suck it up and suck it out through here via here. So in this way, it would travel in this direction, and then once it travels in this direction, then it would discharge it or exit the stuff you don't want in your HVAC line set. And again, the HVAC line set is 2 copper lines, a larger copper line and a smaller copper line, the low pressure line and the high pressure line. And supposedly this will pull it out, but you do not need to start a system without pulling a vacuum if it's been opened up and exposed to air, etc. So this yellow hose, you just simply screw it on here, turn it on, plug it in, turn it on, and remove this, obviously, open this port up here and let it run, and then your gauge should tell you. Now, some people have a micron gauge, and it should tell you, and you want it perhaps somewhere in the range of, say, 500 microns, thereabouts. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.